Kia ora. Good evening. Oh, goodness. Oh. I finally came up with my idea for a Japanese anime, for a Japanese animated short film. Because Japanese anime was one of the genres I hadn't done yet. I had contemplated doing some other things that I'd written in Japanese anime, but nothing felt right. And it's just in its infancy. I've only just planted the seed. So a lot's going to change, a lot's going to grow from it. But it's basically this young Japanese prince who has a dream where a stone god at an altar in the forest basically guides him to find this wishing well. And one day he's out on his horse and he sees the stone god at the altar and remembers the dream, and he's like, oh, so he goes to follow the dream and finds the wishing well. And when he goes in to take a drink, he sees a girl at the bottom of the well looking up at him, and he thinks she's trapped, but she's not. And he goes back every day to talk to her, and then he falls in love. They fall in love, and she tells him about the spell, the curse. Excuse me, because he goes to climb down into the well and she's like, no, 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 don't. Because if you step on the water, you're going to break the glass. And if you break the glass, she disappears forever. So he has to find a way to get to her without breaking the glass. I already know how he's got to do it. But and there's more to it than that. I'm just not going into too much detail because people like Donald Trump, and my exes and that have a habit of stealing my ideas. But there's a lot more to it than what I've said. Her name will be Umeko or Umiko. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Yumiko, and he is Prince Akira. So, yeah, the wishing well. Japanese anime, I can see it in my head when he's looking down over the well with the cherry blossoms, because just, I love Japan. I've wanted to visit Japan my whole life. I'm just fascinated by Japan. Oh, excuse me. And I've always, always, always wanted to do a Japanese anime. I love Hayao Miyazaki, Studio Ghibli. I just adore his films. And so I'm going to do The Wishing Well. And I might even give it a Japanese name. I literally just planted the seed about 25, 30 minutes ago. So, yeah, I might give it a Japanese name. But he's, God, was it Prince Akira? And she is, oh, excuse me. I was literally getting ready to go to sleep and I got inspired. My muse inspired me and I'm like, oh, I could do something with this, and then boof, bam, boom. I've turned it into a little short Japanese animated film. The whole point of coming up with different genres is it gives the kids who want to make the films and stuff, who want to get into filmmaking, it gives them, oh, excuse me, different genres to work on. So, you know how there's different kinds of maths? Yeah, so the wishing well. Now I'm thinking, should I just give it a Japanese name, like, or name it after, yeah. There's more to it than what I'm saying. It's just, obviously, I need to be careful because I have a habit of having my work stolen. But it's important that I put my ideas out there, not only to see if I can trust people, um, but also because I'm trying to get people's attention who want to be a part of my project. Oh, excuse me. So, yeah, I'll put everything in the description box, and now I'm thinking I can just see it. I can see him looking down in the well with all the cherry blossoms around. And they're having this conversation, and she's looking up at him, and he's looking down at her. And I've got to think of who the God is going to be that comes to him in the dream that guides him to the wishing well. Oh, excuse me. So, yeah, exciting. So now I've finally got my Japanese anime. I can tick that off. I might do it like in the style of Laputa, or maybe Princess Mononoke, or, ooh, Spirited Away, maybe. Maybe Spirited Away. Yeah, Spirited Away. Or My Neighbor Totoro. Totoro, Totoro. Spirited Away. I'll do it in the style of Spirited Away with a bit of Laputa, Castle Cagliostro. Maybe, now I'm thinking Porco Rosso, Kiki's. No, I think I'll do it like in the style of maybe Princess Mononoke or Spirited Away. But Laputa. Laputa. Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, yeah, okay, maybe Princess Mononoke. I might do it in the style of Princess Mononoke. But my muse inspired me. He gave me I was yeah, I was looking at his art, and I added my own little bit to it. And then by merging his art with the bit that I added, I was sitting there thinking, there's a story in this. And so I started thinking as I was sort of getting ready to drift off. And then I changed it, and I thought, why not do it in the style of Japanese anime? It's either going to be like in the style of, graphics wise, I'm talking, Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away, or Laputa. So, or, yeah, yeah, can be my homage to Where the Heart Is, maybe as well, because it is going to be, set rural, is going to be from, a few hundred years ago. Feudal Japan, set around those times. So there's more to it than that, but he does try to climb down into the well, and she's like, no, 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 don't. But there's more to it. I'd be giving too much away. But yeah, my muse. He lit something in me. So yeah, now I can tick Japanese anime off my list. The Wishing Well. Though the name of the movie might change, because I might give it more of a Japanese themed name. But we'll see. It's just reminding me of a dream I had a couple of years ago about the stone toad, and I was looking up at Aokia Aokigahara Mountain, is it? Suicide Mountain. And there were these two gods standing there. One was red and one was blue. And they had their swords drawn, and when they saw who I was, they put their swords away and nodded, and then turned and walked away. They were wearing like those kimono things and those wooden jandals, those wooden flip-flop kind of wooden shoe things, and they had their hair in a ponytail, and I think the top of their head was shaved. And there was a black dragon with a red belly that had yellow in the middle, and it was like a paper dragon flying around. So I could make the stone god in the dream, the toad from the dream that I had. Kigahara Forest, I think that's how it's pronounced. Um, yeah, so my muse mused me. So that's another string to add to the bow. Oh, Kubo and the Two Strings. That's not Studio Ghibli though. Oh my god, could you imagine if I wrote it and then Miyazaki actually turned it into a movie? That would be like the biggest feather in my cap. That would be like the biggest honour of my life, other than if Jim Henson was alive and he said, let me do the puppets for um, what's the one I decided I was going to do, like the Labyrinth? Um, Elatha's Dragon. But he's no longer with us. And Disney own the Muppets now, and they're I don't want to go anywhere near Disney. But yeah, if Miyazaki was like, Hayao Miyazaki was like, let me do this for you, I'd be like, yes! Oh my god! I said to the boys, then we could go to Japan. Because I've talked before about, oh, wouldn't it be cool if we could get, if Miyazaki wanted to get involved. And because like I had thought about doing, with a little help from my friends in the form of Japanese anime. And I said we could go to Japan and find some unknown, animated artists and then see if they could do it, make it all authentic. And then I was like, oh my God, what if Miyazaki was like, no, let me do it? And I'd be like, yes! Because I just adore him. I mean, that would be like, that's the kind of dream that would be the biggest dream of all dreams as someone who wrote stories and film script ideas and that sort of thing for kids. It's just that Howl's Moving Castle was a Welsh story, and I think Castle Cagliostro, that was inspired by his time in Italy, but Howl's Moving Castle was written by a Welsh author, and he loved it and turned it into the movie. So it's not impossible that he'd take the story from a Kiwi writer and turn it into a Japanese animated film. But I mean, that would be just like way. But for now, it's called The Wishing Well. I might give it a more authentic Japanese sounding name, but yeah. So there we go. I've just put the stuff up on my YouTube, but I'll put it in the description box as well. I'm so excited because I was going to make him a samurai, but I think that might be a little bit obvious. The whole samurai thing, I mean, and I've already got the samurai in the Quantum Menace with Show. I don't want to overdo the samurai thing, but I think he's going to be like a prince from, the days of feudal Japan. So, it's around that era, and the curse has got something to do with all of that, but I don't think he's going to be a samurai. He could have a samurai companion, though. We'll just see. I've just planted the seed, though. And then I'd be able to find authentic Japanese voice actors. Maybe even do it, which I think my son Thomas would absolutely adore. Because my boy, he only ever used to watch Studio Ghibli movies. Like one of his favourite movies in the whole world is Laputa. And he only watched it in Japanese. And he's always wanted to learn Japanese. So I think I'll do it in Japanese with English subtitles. Make it a subtitled Japanese animated short film. By short film, I'm probably thinking maybe about 40 minutes. I don't know, we'll see. It might end up being turned into a full-blown thing yet. I have a feeling like this is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger the more I think about it. But I'll put a thumbnail up of what I'm seeing in my head, and I'll have to make up this whole, like Samurai Jack with oh God, what was it? Aku. Remember, in the beginning, there was a blah blah blah. I might do it like that, where it starts off talking about the curse and why there's a curse and why people think she's trapped at the bottom of this well and stuff, and then it'll go into him having his dream, like introducing him as the prince, and then having this dream, and yeah. But I'll put a thumbnail of what I can see in my head to give you an idea. Hopefully I can find a picture on Google. It's times like this I wish I was an artist. I'm a writer. I'm the visionary. But it's times like this I wish that I had the gift of art as well, because then I could just do the art myself and then say, look. Because it's going to be really hard to find an artist who can do what I see in my head without annoying him. Because if he doesn't get it right, I'm going to keep making him tweak it and change it until it. For the purposes of putting the biorhythmics in, it needs to be the image and the sound needs to be perfectly aligned with how I've written it and seen it in my head. So for the thumbnail for this video, I'll try and find a picture of what I can see in my head. If not, you just have to use your imagination. But yeah, the wishing well. He inspired me. That's why I love him so much. We work so brilliantly together. If only we'd be quite the incredible duo. God, the things him and I could do. Anyway, I just had to put it out there. This is the sort of thing that my son Thomas would absolutely sink his teeth into. This would be right up his alley. So, especially if I had to get his advice about the appropriate historical Japanese swords that they would be using, that would be right up his alley. And then if we got to go to Japan, which we wanted to anyway, was one of the first things we wanted to do when we got out of here, to look for authentic Japanese artists to bring them on board to help make it. That would just be everything. We wanted to do a big tour of Japan and find artists who weren't famous, that didn't work for big corporations and companies, and ask them to come on board. So, I can just see it. I can just see it. So, yeah, I'll try and find a picture. Hopefully, I can find a picture. But think of the cherry blossoms. Remember in Kung Fu Panda when the tortoise is sitting under the tree, and the cherry blossoms. Cherry blossoms. It's got. I can just see the cherry blossoms. I'll try and find a picture. I will. Yeah. So there we go. And I might change the name to be slightly more Japanese authentic, but that's a seed planted because my muse mused me. He amused me. Ka kite ano.